has a watch, but state-of-the-art watch, not just a watch.
Okay.
Anyhow, so let's get on to the news. President Yoweri Museveni yesterday concluded his Chigezi sub-region tour. He has been at it since, I think, early this week. And today he's going to be in Isingiro and Ntungamo district. Yesterday he was speaking from a state lodge in Ntungamo. And he was addressing journalists about some of the issues that need to be worked on, of course, as a NRM candidate. So he spoke about job creation. Yeah, and we have seen him over the time in his campaign speak about how the government is not able to create employment for everybody. The government only has capacity to employ about 480,000 people. However, he says as the NRM government, they have initiatives in place to ensure that people can get employment other ways. One is through wealth creation programs like the Myoga, the PDM, and blah, blah, and the others, youth livelihood and all that. Then the second is, of course, getting into factories and industries. And he was saying factories and industries are another way of employment. So we need to attract more investors who will then get this employment for people. Okay. Then the other thing he was speaking about was Ugandans who are consistently going abroad to seek jobs, because we have a lot of Ugandans, or Uganda is one of those countries that transports the biggest labor abroad. So he was saying, well, there's a lot that you can do here in Uganda with some of the things that I have told you, the sectors that we have where you can employ yourself or be employed and then earn from there.
Bueno kuletu biyayirera ukozokure ngwebe nabana kuza kora mpaka su Dubai kora ubuhuku ukuno kuvuga ukutsigaho ubwega bukingana buti ngabasanga uri kutunga miliyoni 20 buri zobo mbone kuza kora ubuhuku mba harabu no heiki so hatembera mo nergaye hata harwari zinayireka abantu ngo uri umwana basangwa waberetene murumo 2007 ba Rwanda karimo ka RC5 ka kamuri atwiyagira mu nkoko natunga miliyoni 20 buri zoba kandi nakwesa abantu 300 ikikoma isobugayiga bwazaremerwa ubwego ubukwinga no kurisa ubwego bw'amakorero ubwego bwa hoteli ubw'abantu nuko kuzaremerwa emirimo ya government roho konkani miki.
How did you translate that? Because I know he's speaking staunch. That's what he's speaking. Yes, but the government cannot employ everyone. So business instead of going abroad, and you get some money. Yes.
Yeah, of course, there's people who have argued about the factories and all that. People who are working in factories, some of them don't have safety gear, some of them don't have, and they get little money, 5,000 per day. If you calculate to the end of the month, it's about 250. Uganda, as we know, doesn't have a minimum wage and all of that. But I think previously when he was doing those PDM tours, he spoke about it and he was saying that the first thing that is important is creating employment for people. Once we have created employment, then we can talk about things like the minimum wage, how much, people can get for the threshold for certain jobs. Because right now, if we start putting up a minimum wage, we are going to chase away investors. For instance, if you say for the media, the minimum wage should be 1 million, for everybody who is employed under this sector, then you probably have most of the radio stations or the small investors close down and then move away to do business in different other countries. So, but Kenya here has a minimum wage. I think the other countries in Africa, a number of them, South Africa, but you remember the protests over the minimum wage in South Africa, and other countries like Libya and all that. Those ones have like a wage.
For us, we can't protest.
Over
we cannot. Over a minimum wage. A minimum wage? No, we cannot.
Why? But anyway, but you see, it's a good thing, but it's also a tricky thing.
Yes, because
for a country.
If we go and protest and we send, all let's say a sector journalism, this industry, until you might not like 500 and above.
Yeah.
Kati then they will get you Pamela and get the other person and say, you Pamela, you come and work.
Yeah.
I will
and
give
that's
you
why the
amount.
South Africans protested.
Yes.
Because they were like, now the employers are getting non-South Africans and employing them in this place because the minimum wage is too high for the citizens who are South Africans. So they employ other people and then these ones remain unemployed. So that's where it's tricky.
postinga naye nga mwaba mumugenda kufunamu nga ffe abalala tetugenda kufunamu nga gwe Pamela bajja kuyita bakugamba Pamela please don't protest, you just come, you're good, let's give you 700 or 800 and you come
and
back
you can't say no and you're like I
have to pay rent,
exactly. And also that also comes with qualifications, certain qualifications, and also Uganda is like a Katogo country where you see a banker in a bank, you find somebody who did is in the teller, but maybe they did engineering, you get it, so but they just qualified as a degree holder and something. So people, there's Katogo, you see people in media, so but they're actually not media people, but they are really good at their jobs, but they didn't do actually media courses. So anyhow, so that's President Museveni. Now, when we go to the Bobby Wine today, yesterday, of course, we saw the ruckus that was there. Today is going to be in Kayunga district, and the police came out to condemn Bobby Wine, actually. We saw Chituma Rusoke, who is the spokesperson for police. Well, he was speaking about how the processions has continued to be an issue for the NUP and the supporters of the NUP. And Chituma Rusoke, who's the Uganda police spokesperson, was saying that Bobby Wine has consistently been defiant, and he's the reason, actually, he's the instigator, according to the way he explained it, he's the instigator of these processions. And he was trying to explain that the processions are being regulated or avoided because one, people they cause a lot of disruptions in traffic and for people who are going their way to day-to-day operations who are not interested in them. So like he was explaining, you can listen.
N'engeri gyeyingiriramu obulamu bw'abantu aba bulijjo abatali mu bibyo. Abantu balina ebintu bingi ebyokukola. Waliwo abagenda mu butale, waliwo abagenda mu malwaliro. Nga ffe kye tusaba candidate atuule mu mmotoka ye asange abantu ku venue. Abantu batambula. Ndowooza olabye almost buli candidate abantu be osanga batambula ate na mu bungi. Naye challenge gye tufunye and particularly ebadde mainly with a candidate wa NUP. Kati candidate yakulemberamu procession. Muntu eyali badde aba exemplary osanga atandise n'ekikooso okuva wasula okugenda ku vet. Sometimes nosanga nga enamba gy'ayina mu procession watandikidde okutuuka ku venue almost ng'enamba yenkana.
I'll say it the same way I said it last time. Bagana processions, then the other parties should also be stopped. Okubeeranga bakola those processions. Naye nga tekigenda kusoboka. You cannot stop fans or supporters from okuwerekera omuntu waabwe nga bo baagala muwerekera up to where they are going to where he's going to speak from. Obokitegedde ate ojjukira liwe nakugamba nti ebintu bya poliisi olumu abavubuka be batankula ne poliisi. The video I showed you yesterday, there's another video I saw yesterday
provoking the police officers.
It's the police doing
actually yesterday in Bikwe, if you saw some of the scenes that played out, some of these people were bystanders actually who are trying to wave to their candidate. But I don't know, according to Chituma Rusoke, he says that the way that the commanders on ground perceive a situation is how they react to it. So for him that was his defense. But we'd see people being tear gassed, but some of them they were actually not forming a procession, but they were standing to wave to their candidate. So there needs to be
it was moving, and then wabadde waba boda nga naye bambadde NUP, they were just moving oba kitegedde nga bagenda. So wa police naleetera ddala ekimotoka wa boda. So when the boda guy tried to complain, najjayo ka spray nakamuteekamu kyokka nga towa polisi yabadde mu nsobi, and then kati nowhere side yabadde yayitawo buyisi nowhere naye namukuwaka pepper spray neŋŋamba bannange what's going on.
Really?
I know. So it's two-way. And the other video I showed you of where bano basupporters bebadde batankula omukazi ng'ali ku bibyo wa polisi nga they just want to tease her and stuff like that. So it's two-way.
So I think the commanders on the ground are maybe, I don't know, miscalculating or misinterpreting somewhere somehow. And then because I also saw there was a journalist car that was also destroyed in the process, or somebody was trying to throw a tear gas canister and all that. So anyway, we need to find a clear divide between a candidate moving towards his grounds, the rally grounds, and a candidate having a procession that is walking with him wherever he's going. Because there's people who come out of their businesses and say, hey, hello, hello, hello. Then there's those ones who want to join in the crowd. Those are the ones maybe who can be told, please, you know, because again, these are unarmed people. When they get violent, that is probably when you see police. Would expect police to use clubs and one, but if we see incidents where maybe live bullets are being fired or people are being mostly the live bullets and then the tear gas affects everybody, even people who are not involved in the whole thing. So anyway. So anyway, we just close briefly with George Musisi, who is one of the lawyers of National Unity Platform, and he's calling out the security forces for not doing anything to arrest or on people who are involved in that viral video. There's that viral video of NRM supporters who are doing an illegal parade, like the way you saw the one that happened on 12th February during Bob Wine's 43rd birthday. And the Chira municipality MP aspirant is a candidate, but aspirant also, but he's also an NUP lawyer. George Musisi is there speaking, and he's saying, for us, we have over 10 people. Sauda Madada, Mufumbiro Alex, and Chileo Chivumbi, Eddie Mutwe, all these have been arrested for holding an illegal parade. So he was wondering why this video has gone viral and we're not seeing the police or any security organ come out to condemn it.
Bakozesa amateeka okukolantereza ebyobufuzi bagulawo ekisango sange ekyo era ekyovola banga babikola kuba kigenda kyakulwanya byabufuzi so solo okwata olw'omusango ogukoleddwa kyovola banga n'abantu abasibiddwa ku musafayiro eyo eriyo n'abantu abataaliyo abawera mukaaga nga tebaalinawo ku lunaku olwo so ze ndowooza nti bazanya byabufuzi abantu baffe abali mu makomera tebaliyo lwakuba nti balina omusango gwe bazza naye babateeka lwa byabufuzi era ne kooti zennyini olw'okuba nazo ziri ku biragiro ezimu kyova olaba nga bammibwa bbeiro omulundi ogwasooka baabamma okweyimirirwa ne baddamu ne basaba ne babamma n'okweyimirirwa okwekiwaze kwe tuyita mandatory bail ng'ennaku zituuse ez'okuva mu kkomera.
Nga bwe nagambye wali nti ebintu birina kubeera nga biri balanced bulungi. If eri bakandidate beri nabo balina kye bakola ekimenya amateeka, they should be worked on. Like,
actually, I was watching one. It was a televised interview. The commissioner in charge of RDC is called Bamwine, and he was speaking about there being no law that stops people. He was actually saying that there's no law that stops people from holding such parades unless you inform the RCC or the DPC of the area. And for him, in his defense, he was saying maybe this group could have gotten permission from the RCC or the DPC of the area. That is why you saw them holding that parade. But however, we need to see them being maybe paraded somewhere, or maybe if there's evidence that indeed they did that. Or I don't know. I'm not so much legally informed in that direction, whether people are not allowed to do military drills or have such parades. Maybe we just need to get specialists or experts to tell us, people who know matters properly, tell us if it is really for some ordinary citizen to go and do such a kind of parade, like the way the NUP did.
So when kola wano parade watukwata.
But
Hello guys. The mid-morning to Kone with Flora Shaw.